Welcome, guys, back to ILW Pod. Today, we're doing things a little different. We're here for an MSG recap, both Monday Night Raw and NXT, hosted at Madison Square Garden. As always, Justin Woolwine, we're with Pops, Nasty. How you guys doing?
Pretty
Blessed.
good. Pretty
Blessed.
good.
Glad to be here.
Excited to be back?
Yeah, excited to be back.
Before we get things rolling, how'd y'all feel about the overall presentation of both shows?
Last night was great, and then tonight was good. Having it in the little theater,
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. The crowd was hyped for both of them. The Garden's always great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It felt big. Felt like a big deal.
What do you think?
I just like the overall just like theme of things, you know. I feel like it was pretty nice.
Okay.
It's
Did you like NXT being in the little theater?
I
Think it was
guess.
cool,
I guess.
or did you not really care? You can be honest, man.
I really didn't pay. I didn't pay attention to that.
Okay.
I paid attention to the wrestling.
Okay, to put this out here, seeing as how we're live, these are the things. If you're going to be an analyst, you got to pay attention to.
Okay.
And that right, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to give us one outlandish prediction for WrestleMania this year. We got to work the crowd, wait for people to get in here. So we're gonna.
Okay.
This is what we're gonna do.
All right. Outlandish prediction.
Yeah. What do you think? One match. You gotta make it interesting.
Oh, I have to make a
Because
match?
Set here.
Now,
and be
what
quiet.
match are they
What
going
What
to
match
have?
do you think is gonna happen? Dad, you go first.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get a triple threat with Punk, Rollins.
Punk, Rollins, Reigns.
Yeah.
Is that based off the main event of Raw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll get there.
Definitely.
What do you think? And you can't say Jey Uso versus Gunther. You can't say Cena and Cody.
Well, my prediction is Gunther wins against Jay.
Yeah, we don't.
That's
need to do
wild.
this. Yeah, that's a wild.
That's
It
outlandish.
could happen.
That's crazy.
It could happen.
Okay.
I could also see Bianca, Io, and Ripley.
I'm gonna say a multi-man match for the Intercontinental title. I
can
think
see that.
Braun Breaker will defend at least against AJ Styles and Logan Paul
Well, no, I can probably see
and Finn Balor.
I can see Braun Breaker defending against Finn and Dom.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I see Dom.
That'd be
Do you
I
see
see
what
the
I'm saying?
Judgment
I
Day
see the
breaking
Judgment Day
apart.
breaking
I
apart.
just don't
and
see there
Dom.
being anywhere right now for Logan and
I
them
see
to get.
AJ and Logan fighting each other.
But if they've already teased AJ and Breaker, and they've
Yeah.
teased Logan and Breaker, and they've teased
but
Finn
I
and
think they were
Breaker.
just testing the waters to see where.
Testing the waters. I think exactly what they did. That's why at my multi-man. Throw them all in there.
The ladder match.
What multi-man? There's always a multi-man match. If it's not for the Intercontinental title, who do you think it is?
Who's
Tag
you?
teams.
Tag team?
Who's the U.S.
Like
champion right now?
Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, all them.
Who's the U.S. champion right now?
LA Knight just beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, but they might take it back.
Did
right?
you read while we're here talking about Shinsuke that they might not be renewing Shinsuke's contract?
No, I didn't hear that.
He'd probably go to New Japan, wouldn't he?
I don't know. Could we see back in New Japan or
Yeah,
AEW?
No, I don't think AEW.
You don't think he? No, I don't think he's an AEW guy.
No, I don't think he is either.
Seeing as how we're talking about guys that left, the Good Brothers recently got released. Do you think we see them back in AEW with the Bucks and Kenny and the Elite, or do they go back to New Japan, or they go back to TNA?
It might be a thing where they go to TNA because the working relationship. It's just kind of funny how all those guys got released right when the working relationship
When the
started.
partnership started?
Yeah, so maybe they was released for a reason.
Okay.
Maybe WWE was like, look, we ain't got nothing for you, but TNA's got good deals for you right now coming off of our TV. Go down there and sign with them.
Definitely.
So
While we're at it, if you guys are watching this on live stream, if you guys want to see us in person, we will be at Exodus Pro Wrestling in Cleveland this Saturday. Big show, EC3 facing Richard Holiday. Brandon Beretta's on the card. Pretty Boy Smooth is on the card. All these guys have been on ILW Pop. We're going there to check them out. Pay attention. We'll see us next week. A couple other places, CSW in Chicago next Friday. Might be making a trip up to Minnesota. Got to work out the things on that, but maybe up there.
We're definitely, I think we'll go check that one out.
Okay. But
Want to get out to Pittsburgh maybe by
Pittsburgh
summertime?
by the summertime. Check out the guys at the IWC.
Yeah, we want to get out there. Maybe even down to Atlanta at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta show love to the A4 brothers down there. We love you guys. Also, April 25th, 26th, check us out at Squared Circle Expo. We are sponsoring Trevor Outlaw, Hayden Backlund. Words out there. Hasn't been announced by them yet, but somebody on the other side of the podcast over here spilled the beans. So we're just gonna announce that's where we're at. So Nasty might be there following us around with a camera if he's nice. Probably not.
I'm so nice.
He's not very
I'm the
nice.
nicest.
Yeah, you're not gonna make that one.
But I think we've wasted enough of you guys' time. Let's start talking about Monday Night Raw.
All right.
Raw kicked off as always. People walking into the building. Who we have walking into the building this week? Nate?
We had Cody, Io, Bianca, Seth, Punk, Uso.
Okay, hyping up all the stuff they're going to do in Madison Square Garden. Do you know how important Madison Square Garden is to the wrestling land?
No, I do not.
It's the center of the universe, is what Cody Rhodes says.
Explain it to him, Dad. Why is Madison Square Garden so important to WWE?
So Vince McMahon Sr., Vince McMahon's dad, and Vince McMahon's dad's dad, all was promoters at Madison Square Garden, and that was where their portion of the NWA territory was the Garden.
And that's where guys like Bruno Sammartino main evented.
Pedro Morales,
Ivan Koloff, Jimmy Snuka,
Bob
Don
Backlund.
Morocco, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan.
That's where Hogan won his first title from the Iron Sheik.
I only know a couple of the people you named.
That's insane.
I know Hogan,
I humble you, Bubba.
Bruno, not really, but I just know him. I use him in 2K. A couple other people.
I don't know why I typed it like that, but I meant to say what's up. After these guys walk to the ring, we get Jey Uso making his grand entrance. I just wanted to say, last couple times we've got to see Jey Uso. Monty, our nephew's been there. He really loves Jey Uso. He loves Yeet.
He gets into it. The crowd was really into this. It was a great opening, I think, in the Garden. The way the building's set up and just everything. I think it really made it even louder and more feel like a big event. Like it made it feel like a big show.
I think what got me the most was the fact that it didn't lead into a 20-minute Jey Uso talking.
Yeah.
Because I love Jey Uso, but not the best talker.
Not the best.
So
I feel like his grills
going into a
messed
match
up
was
little
great. I don't know if it's his grills, Nate, but we can go with it. Jey Uso's grills, Nasty says, makes his promos weak. So it's the grill's fault.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Grayson Waller was the victim this week. There wasn't much. I don't want to say there wasn't much about this match, but it was a standard TV opener. Jey Uso.
It was a solid match, though.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a solid match, and then the aftermath.
I think the aftermath is where it's at. And Nate, I think you want to explain to us what happened in the aftermath of this matchup.
Okay, so after Jey Uso comes out victorious,
How to get the win? Uso splash. Continue.
Uso splash, man. That was last night. Besides the point, after he became victorious, Austin Theory attacks Jey Uso, and then Jey Uso actually comes out and gets the upper hand. Spears him. And then Gunther came out right behind him, put him in the sleeper, and put him to sleep. And then all the security came out.
Bro, I just want to say, Monty was crying.
Yeah,
Monty
he
was
the first
crying
time I've seen. He hates Austin Theory.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
was
like
so
it.
mad at Austin.
And he didn't
Theory.
like Gunther either.
He did not like Gunther. He was like, "Why? Why is he doing that to you?"
Yeah, and why is he doing that to Yeet? And he calls him Yeet. It's kind of cute. It's
hilarious.
It's kind of cute.
Dude,
So, based off these things, Nate, you predict that Gunther is going to walk out.
I wouldn't say it's like that's what I predict because I already know that Jey Uso is going to win after they've hyped him up
You
so
don't know.
much.
It hasn't
I
happened
do
yet.
know. All right. Yeet. On Yeet. I know that.
Okay.
All right. But it's a possibility and a big upset that Gunther could win by putting him to
I
sleep.
don't know if it'd be an upset though.
It'd be an upset.
Not being upset.
You know, Jay
How?
winning is
The
gonna be
hottest
upset.
star in WWE right now,
Right.
without a doubt, and has been for a year.
It would be an upset if
Have you not watched wrestling? for
it'd
the
be an
last
upset
year?
if Jey Uso lost.
Well, I don't know about that either.
I don't know if that'd be.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not really an upset though, because who Gunther is. I mean, it's just
Gunther's a monster.
it's a monster. So
Yeah, what happened next?
after that, we get the video package with the hype up the Punk and the Rollins cage match,
Mm-hmm.
which I really liked. And then there was a part where Punk kind of alluded to, if I had to live in my shadows, I'd be mad at me too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it was pretty good. And then after that, we got another backstage segment with Mr. Yeet up in the trainer's room, and the Alpha Academy kind of alluded they weren't gonna let this happen again.
Okay.
So I like that.
So we got like some mixing of some storylines, maybe.
Yeah.
Jey Uso's got some backup.
The hype for the cage man.
We lost you guys, but we are back.
We're back.
All right.
What was you saying about Punk and Rollins?
I really enjoy the stories that WWE puts out. It's not just them; it's every story that comes out. So, like, there's been little breadcrumbs dropped all along the way to build up how much. Ever since the first night Punk come back,
Rollins
War
flipping out,
Games.
screaming.
yes,
cussing.
yes, you know what I'm saying. So it's been going on ever since, and it's great. I enjoy it.
Up next, we have Logan Paul coming to the ring. I was under the impression last week that AJ Styles was calling out Logan Paul, if you guys remember. So this threw me off when Logan came out with his new music.
New music. He rips that fan's shirt.
Well, I think he was coming out to call out Styles, but then Schultz is in the crowd.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like Styles said last week, "I'll be at MSG to call out Logan Paul
Right, but I think Logan was like coming out to get
the jump on." it."
right,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And then Andrew Schultz, he's very funny. I enjoy watching his podcast. Love watching Andrew Schultz, and to see him in the crowd. And I know him and Logan are real life friends, like
Yes.
they're real life buddies. They do each other's shows all the time. So it was nice for them to get him involved in everything, I thought. And
What'd you think about Logan saying he would sell his soul to The Rock?
what that is another, that could be the
He could be one of those
last
two,
one, right?
one
right.
finger, whatever Rock's throwing up now.
Right.
Do you think? I think I'll put it this way: I think Logan Paul would be a better fit for this group than Travis Scott.
Or with Travis Scott.
What do you think?
Uh,
You're the Logan Paul era of kids. What do you think?
the Logan Paul era kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like Logan Paul as a wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
not much as a YouTuber,
Okay.
but I do like Logan Paul as a wrestler. I feel like he's a really good wrestler. Like when he had that Crown Jewel match against Roman and all those matches, so he would actually probably be a good fit for.
What about Logan coming out? Did you notice anything different when he was coming out?
Oh, he had the new music.
What did you think about his new music?
It was good. And then he ripped that fan's shirt also. That said, I hate Logan Paul.
That was nice though. Like I wasn't, of course it's a plan. I'm assuming.
You would have to. I don't see
I would have to
WWE just
assume-
letting people rip shirts off
Yeah,
fans
and
anymore.
then there was signs ripped up last night too. I seen, so like we'd assume that's a plan. I liked it. I think it makes Logan.
More of a heel.
Yeah.
So what I thought was interesting about this whole Andrew Schultz thing, for one, Andrew says, "Hey, we're not here to see you, Logan. Like we're here to see real wrestlers
And names.
like Punk and Styles." Logan yanks him over the thing, goes to hit the pulverizer in the ring. Styles comes out, hits the phenomenal forearm. He's standing in the ring with Schultz. And it was really hyping up New York with his southern accent being from Georgia. Did you think that was interesting? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I saw. A lot of people online were saying, like, having Styles come out to hype New York is just funny because he's
Well, it
the
was
most
really
non-New York guy you could think
it
of.
was really out of character for Styles too, because like he dropped 2 curse words.
Yeah.
He said ass twice. I don't know if I was allowed to say that, but I'm gonna just. He said that twice. Twice. And AJ he was just on Van Fleet. He says he don't curse.
He does not curse.
So for him to come out there and say that, I wonder if they had to drop a couple extra dividends to the phenomenal one.
I mean, I guess only he would know. But could we see Andrew Schultz in Styles' corner for a match against Logan Paul?
I don't think so. I think it was just that in New York, Schultz has got a new comedy special coming out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's get him on here promoting his Netflix show, something like that. And he's friends with Paul, so Paul was probably like, "Hey, my buddy, he's got a Netflix show. I can get him to come." Because they're probably looking every week. They got the crowd hyped up and packed with celebrities from Netflix shows.
Like this week, there was the Macaulay Culkin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure his name is.
Macaulay Culkin, yeah, and his brother. They also have something on Netflix, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Yes. Up next, we had a little replay of the women's championship last week from Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, where it shows Io winning the championship. Kind of highlights the importance. Hey, Io's going to WrestleMania now, not Rhea Ripley, which we'll get into that later. But up next, we have a tornado tag team match. Nathaniel, I want you to tell me what are the rules for a tornado tag team match.
So both teams,
Mm-hmm.
both superstars of the teams are in the ring at the same time.
Okay.
There's no disqualifications,
Mm-hmm.
no countouts, none of that. Anything's legal, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it.
How you win? Is it just pinfall submission?
Just pinfall and submission.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Who was the guys in this match?
It was the New Day,
Okay, who's in the New Day?
Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods,
Versus?
Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio.
Did you know which one was which?
Yes, of course.
Okay, which one was wearing the long pants?
Rey Mysterio.
Okay. Dad, what did you think about this matchup?
I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it. I thought it was a good match. I like how New Day doesn't really get an entrance anymore. If you notice, every time they've been in a match, they come back from commercial or whatever, the little break, and New Day's already in the ring. They're not really giving them an entrance or bringing them out to the ring, and I think it's to help with the heel persona.
I do want to point out that the reason you missed their entrance was you went for a break.
Oh, my bad.
A little smoke break.
Oops, my bad.
I told you this yesterday.
My bad.
My
bad.
Put that in the notes.
My bad.
But you're not wrong. Most weeks that does happen.
Yes. Well, I've noticed it a couple of weeks. I didn't know that.
Do you like their NWO theme song?
I haven't heard their theme song. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the first week they came out, we talked about it a little bit.
Yes.
And it has the intro, and it kind of sounds like New World Order.
I never really got. That was the only time I seen it.
Okay.
And then the next week when they wrestled, or the next time I seen them out there, it was the singles match. I think Xavier was in.
I think so.
They both was in the ring just at the start of the match, and then the next week it was Kofi. Or something.
I guess with that said, the only thing I don't like about the Netflix move is what we miss in the U.S. compared to what other countries get. Because the other countries get no ad breaks and things like that. So therefore they get the extra promos, the entrances, all these backstage segments and things like that. That I mean, are filler.
I'm sure they'll figure out a way to make that content. Also, like the LWO went to grab a table. Xavier stopped them, and the crowd is going nuts for tables. We want tables. We want tables. Xavier goes to act like he's gonna pull the table out, but then he shoves it back under the ring and wouldn't give him the table spot, which they eventually got. But it was nice. It was great heel tactics. Really nice.
What was one of your favorite parts of the match?
When Dragon Lee went for that dive or whatever, and then New Day catches him and power bombs him on the outside.
Okay.
That was really nice.
And then after that, all the guys are kind of like clustered up in the corner. If you remember, Rey Mysterio hits a sick Hurricane off the top rope. And then Dragon Lee hits a double stomp. I believe it was on Kofi, who was in
hanging
the
up
Tree of Woe position That was really nice. And then Xavier Woods gets Hurricane Rana through the table on the outside,
Almost
which
misses
was
it.
He kind of like bounced
Yeah,
off
he
the
like
table.
bounced off the table,
Yeah.
hit the barricade.
And then went
was
back
nasty.
through the table.
Yeah.
Up next, we kind of had an attack. What happened there?
Who you talking to?
Well,
Y'all choose.
the masked man came out, and he had the American mask on.
We all thought it was Chad Gable.
It definitely looked
Because
Chad
even
Gable
how he like power bombed him too. He did the power
Well,
bomb.
when he was
Or
behind
not
him
power
and picked
bomb,
him up
German
the
suplex.
barrel.
the wheelbarrow German suplex.
Yeah, it looked like Gable. I think it was Gable.
I just want to say before we get to the end of this match, shout out to Chico Adams for carrying out this American-made masked man. Security is needed. Thanks, Chico Adams, a guest of the podcast.
Go check out the episode.
Great episode. Chico's a great guy. Can't wait to have him on
He had a
again.
lot of good stories.
He really does, and he's
Informational.
He refers to himself as the Where's Waldo of professional wrestling because he does extra work everywhere. And we found him at Madison Square Garden.
We found him at the Garden. In a pretty big,
It was a pretty big segment.
Yeah.
Angle. How did the team that got the victory get the victory, and who were they?
It was New Day that got the victory, and I'm being honest, I did not see how they did it.
Man, double stomp with the backbreaker combo. New Day wins. Do you guys think New Day needed this victory?
Yes, because
I think it's not about them getting the victory. I think it's more about playing off the Gable thing.
Okay.
I think it was more a way for WWE to tie the Chad Gable angle all together for something to do with Gable and Penta, probably.
What do you think?
I feel like they did need the win because to build like more of their heel like characters. I mean, it builds them up more, especially because they won off of an attack. Basically, help. They won off help instead of winning on their own, kind of.
Okay.
I feel like.
I'm going to agree with both of you. I think it enhances New Day by giving them a victory. Enhances the heel persona by how they won, and then also connecting Gable with the other luchadors kind of will mix all the lucha in together. And maybe I'm wanting to see maybe if it turns out to be a Lucha Underground thing, a Ray Phoenix thing. Like, where does it go? With,
I can
with
see
Gable
it
and the
going
mask?
somewhere with the Lucha Underground type thing, all except for like a lot of the Lucha characters are with MLW and other places.
Or an AEW.
I
Right.
have a thing to say.
Go ahead.
It's a prediction for Mania, a Mania match that could
Okay.
happen. LWO
Okay.
versus New Day. Ray Phoenix comes back to team up with Penta, and then Penta and Ray Phoenix are also in that match. A 3-man, and then also you could also add in Alpha Academy. Oh no, I forgot. Never mind.
Hey, it was not.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, you boofed.
My bad.
Up next, well, there was a backstage segment with Kathy Kelly talking to Gable, who makes his return to Monday Night Raw after his trip to Mexico. He's saying he wasn't the masked man. She's like, well, you're wearing all the stuff, like you look like him. And then next thing you know, we got security, Chico Adams included, carrying this masked assailant, behind them. And Gable's like, hey, it wasn't me. Do you guys still think it was Gable?
It was definitely
Yes.
Gable.
Okay.
Somebody
You
else.
think the masked guy's a plant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely Gable.
Or what if the attack wasn't Gable, but it was just orchestrated by Gable?
Or I think, but it's going
My
to
only
end up
question-
being Gable.
Yes,
Though.
my only question is how does Gable get taken by security, let go by security, and get another man in the security's arms?
Right, but
So
it's
it
going
has to not be
right.
Gable in this instance,
right, but it's going to end up being Gable.
orchestrated by Gable.
Right, but in the end, there's going to be a masked luchador.
What if it's not? What if it's a new superstar?
Just wait and see.
What if it's a new superstar?
Just watch and
Listen.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. I can see it coming.
I mean, that's what everybody sees happening.
okay. It's going to be Gable.
Okay. What do you think?
When the attack happened, it was most likely Gable. But I am
Did
gonna
you not just listen to my whole
Exactly.
explanation that
I'm
explains
No,
siding
it
with you.
cannot be Gable
How?
because Gable got
He got
whoever
carried
listen,
off by security.
listen,
And
hold
then he
on.
ran away though.
No,
He literally ran. I watched it. I was there.
He did run,
He
but
got
they
away
chased
from
him.
He could have hid and got somebody else in the thing. I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Up next, we had a replay of Finn Balor and Braun Breaker segment last week. Well, pretty much just shows Braun Breaker literally destroy Judgment Day, and kind of show that Finn's scared of him, which led into a backstage segment. What happened in this backstage segment, Pops?
Finn was really upset over the Braun Breaker footage or whatever. And then Dom comes in and he's all happy and he explains to Finn how he just went and got an intercontinental match from Adam Pearce. And Finn's like, oh, you went and got you an honor. And he said, no, Finn, I got you one. So and then said he has faith in Finn is what he told. So I can see there's just a lot boiling with the Judgment Day. I can see that coming to a head real quick.
Okay. Do you see it happen before Mania?
Or at Mania.
Okay.
Either before or at.
What do you think?
My thing, if the multi-man match doesn't happen, it will probably be, I see it being Dominic versus Finn versus Braun Breaker, maybe. Triple threat for the IC title.
You just copied my prediction.
No,
right
I do.
Up next, we have Cody Rhodes coming out. Black Eye and championship in hand. Cody, once again, cutting another spirited promo. Talks about how important the Garden is, how it's the center of the WWE Universe. I was waiting on him to refer to as the Mecca of wrestling, which is what everybody says, especially in the United States. Like, that is our pro wrestling Mecca. He also lets us know that John Cena is going to be in on Monday Night Raw next
first
week.
he took some shots at him for not being in the Garden.
Yes.
You know, his last year, he even said your farewell tour and you didn't make the Garden. Like,
well, he runs over all Cena's accomplishments too. Hey, you won the U.S. title here. You came back from injury.
The Royal Rumble.
Won the Rumble here. Right. Like, obviously, it's a place where Cena's had a lot of accomplishments, done a lot of things.
But Cena's from Massachusetts, isn't he?
Yes.
They don't get along with Yankees.
Okay.
The Yankee fans don't like the Boston fans.
He also said that he was going to have to be the one to beat his hero.
Mm-hmm. And make sure we don't get what?
17.
That number 17.
17 doesn't happen.
17 does not happen. Nathaniel, what's your prediction? Does 17 happen?
17 does happen.
17 happen?
Yeah.
There's nobody else. There's like nobody else that can actually become a 17-time champion.
17. Well, I wouldn't say that. There's Randy Orton.
There's Orton. If somehow Triple H gets a pacemaker put in that he could wrestle with, he could win it.
Edge might be able to. I don't know how many
Edge is close.
Yeah, Edge is up there. He might be the same as Orton even.
On the path that Mox is on in AEW with winning AEW world titles left, right, and center, he could. Jericho's at 9, and he's not retiring anytime soon. So, I mean, there is possibilities.
How many's Punk at?
Not
near.
Punk's been gone for 10 years. Though.
Yeah, he's been 10 years away. I think the biggest thing out of this is Rhodes let everybody know, hey, there's a new captain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the captain. I'm the quarterback. This is my game, not yours. I'm here. You're not. Let's say in theory Cena wins it. Does Rhodes win it back?
I don't know if Rhodes wins it back necessarily, or yeah, he'll win it back. I don't know how.
You don't know how soon, or if it's from Cena,
right?
But Rhodes gets the title back,
right? Yeah, I can see eventually.
I think he's too big of a champ. Like,
yeah, but
usually by now, a year later.
Okay, but a lot of times they make more money with the babyface chasing
it.
Right.
What I was gonna say is also by now the babyface usually runs out of steam. Cody has just as much steam now, and he's getting the same reaction that he did last year when he was facing The Rock and Reigns, which everybody thought, hey, Rock's here, but they're going to boo Cody. Did not happen. And it's happened the same way with Cena, which is surprising. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Up next, we had Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez. In this match, you had, Liv and Dom getting involved again. We love Dominic Mysterio here on ILW Pod. Bailey's kind of about to get counted out, rolls in the ring. Raquel takes advantage, which I didn't see coming. I didn't see the big boot followed by the finish. Raquel gets
it was kinda out of nowhere.
a somewhat clean victory over Bailey. Bailey taking the L is rare. So Raquel faces Lyra for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you think Raquel wins the Intercontinental Championship from Lyra?
I'm gonna say I don't know because I really don't know much about either of them.
Okay.
So
I love your honesty.
who knows?
What do you think, Dad?
What was the question?
Do you think
I was distracted.
Raquel Rodriguez is going to defeat Lyra Valkyria?
No.
For-
No.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
You think
She's
so?
gonna. Yeah, I think she'll win.
Okay.
Because just I can see her winning.
Do you see maybe, with this theory that she wins, maybe after Mania, Raquel hold all the women's gold on the Raw side?
Could be possible.
Okay.
Could be possible.
I could see it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
with how high they are on Liv Morgan, and I like Raquel playing this Diesel-like character. I think it works well. I can see it happening.
It reminds me of like a female
Diesel.
No, Hernandez from LAX.
Supermax.
Yeah, Supermax.
Okay.
Like with
That's
the
different. I haven't
bandana-
heard
the
that before. That's
bandana
good. I
and-
like that.
Yeah, she reminded me of Supermax.
Speaking of, the women's world title match, up next, Michael Cole is interviewing Io Sky, who won the women's world heavyweight title, or not world heavyweight, because for the women, the world title last week. They're going over how important it is, how she's going to be in the main event or the title match, WrestleMania, now that she's champion. And Rhea and Bianca interrupt. Is this why you think we're going to get that triple threat?
Yeah. Well, how they mushed her.
Okay.
They mushed both of them. Mushed Io like mushed her. Yeah, like that. And
then this is where the fiery one fights back and smacks both the big. Yeah, you wish.
I think it's setting up an angle where they're all three in a triple threat at Mania. Definitely.
What do you think, Nate?
I think what Dad said.
Who
Definitely.
walks out of Mania as the women's world champion?
If you're gonna be honest, I see it being Bianca. I see him putting the title back on Bianca because she isn't.
Okay.
I see Bianca.
I would like to see him keep Io as the champion.
Okay.
I think this would be a good way to build her as a viable contender against any of the other two when they have the title. You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like, if,
that said, are you saying she's not a viable contender?
Well,
as she's already been,
I know
former
I
WWE
know,
women's
and
champion.
she's been the champion,
And Money in the Bank
and
and
she's
NXT.
champion again. I know, but when you compare her to like DST or Rhea Ripley, she's never had the whole.
With that said,
I don't think she's ever had the whole force of.
no, she's never had the engine behind her.
Right.
But,
So what I'm saying is, if they go now and put the engine behind her against these two,
fair enough.
do you see what I'm saying? It could elevate her to their level. Is all I was getting at. No disrespect to Io Sky.
The only thing I'm going to point out here is if we're looking at it statistically speaking, Io's always had the one up on Rhea because Rhea's never beat her.
Right.
Bianca and her, I'm not for sure on the stat there, but I mean it's pretty similar.
It's a language barrier.
Yes.
Is the only thing. She doesn't connect with the audience because of the language barrier, but she's very, very, very talented.
Too good in the ring.
Too good in the ring. And I think the better her English gets, the better she'll connect. And they're not just doing United States no more. It's not just here in the States. It's worldwide.
Well, with that said, something I really like that WWE has done for these talent that don't speak, like English isn't their first language. The backstage segments or the video promos go a long way because they can talk, but it's translated.
Right.
So like getting Io to tell a story like with Rhea to build up to the world title match, it made sense because you understood her outlook.
Right. Right.
So like, I don't know if that'll be a problem anymore.
Well, I just know sometimes it
I
does.
mean,
As far as being out there in front of the crowd and connecting with the crowd that's in the building, with the mic in your hand, it makes
Yes.
it hard. So not unless you're in
now let's they go to Japan.
well, and I'm sure they're going to.
That WWE could do more is like with the Spanish speaking members of the roster, they'll speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Now there is a lot of Spanish speaking individuals in the arena.
That's why.
But they could do that.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they do. I've seen it with Asuka.
And Io.
I've seen it with Io. I've seen it. So
I'm gonna predict Rhea Ripley. I think they took it back off of her just to put her in this match and make it big. And
I don't think it's Ripley at all. I think if anybody, it'll be the EST. I think it's Bianca or Io.
Okay.
Because the EST has been in this long thing with Jade Cargill, kind of teaching Jade Cargill, kind of mentoring Jade Cargill, and I think
Jade versus.
Well, I think that's what, if anything, that's what will happen. Jade will get this one feud with Naomi to really.
She'll beat Naomi at Mania.
Right, but they'll really get to develop her in-ring game there. Anything, because it's all been tag team. So she'll get to work a match and get her a match down. And then you bring in her and put her against the EST, and you can take what you did with that Naomi match and put it with what Bianca does and capitalize and have a decent match. And then maybe Jade Cargill is your next women's champion after all that. And they make another big star. But I would like to see them, like I said, with Io. I just think it would give other opponents in the women's, that's my opinion.
Okay. Before Punk and Rollins happens, throughout the night, they did a series of video packages with famous steel cage matches that have happened in the Garden, the likes of.
Well, this one was the Savage and DiBiase, I'm pretty sure. But before that, they had it was Snuka, which surprised me.
Yes, the Snuka one.
The Snuka and the original OG Rock, the Rock, Morocco, which was kind of great. The Rock even credits Morocco for, where he got that. And then there was Bruno Sammartino and Ivan Koloff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was interesting about that is Ivan, I'm pretty sure, isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Nope. And if you watch the Nikita ILW pod video, I asked Nikita about going into the Hall of Fame, and his exact words were, "Before I go in the Hall of Fame, Ivan deserves to go
because
first."
he wrestled there and even beat Bruno. And so I just think maybe this might open up an avenue where we can see Ivan Koloff in the Hall of Fame, and I think that would be a great thing. If anybody deserves to be there, he's former world champion.
Can you put the damn pop down? Jesus Christ. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
I was thirsty.
Okay. Up next, Seth Rollins is fighting CM Punk in the main event steel cage match. Something I pointed out when this match was happening and Nate was sleeping was this match was so much different than the last Punk and Rollins match. Because the last Punk and Rollins match, yes, the animosity was there. Yes, there was fighting, there's brawling, but as a match, this was a brawl. These two men just wanted to hurt each other, and it was just a fight inside of a cage. It was raw, dirty.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Everybody's going off the cages. Finishers left, right, and center, and both men hitting each other with the finishers.
I like the spot Punk did with the elbow like Savage, and he did it from 3 different spots, and it didn't work, so he went up to the top of the cage. I thought that was pretty cool the way I knew it was coming, but it just kept
building. And I like usually the fight on top of the cage is just the same old, both men set. They hit.
It was
not this time. They were sitting there. Punk was kicking him and pushing him. But ultimately, Seth superplexes off the top, which was nice. Honestly, I'll say I wasn't expecting Punk to go off the top of the cage. Especially when you think about recently Cope or Edge. He did the dive off top of the cage, got hurt, and he's about the same age as Punk, a little older, but around the same age. These guys taking these big bumps at this point in their career is risky. I wasn't expecting it. I figured if anybody go off the top of the cage, maybe Rollins. So Punk off the top surprised me. Nate, from what you did see, what did you like about this cage match?
I liked the where Rollins put him in the STF.
Okay.
Put Punk in the STF. Kind of like a callback to what happened at the Chamber after Rollins stomped CM Punk on the outside to give Cena the win, basically. And then it was reversed kind of into an Anaconda Vice.
That was nice.
That was nice.
Do you think it was a callback, or do you think
It was
he's shouting Cena out, saying, I'm going to join you guys?
I think it was a callback.
Okay. I mean, it's just the debate on the street is you know, I honestly think it was just a callback too. Oh, insult to injury. What do you think, Dad?
I think if anybody, it'd be Punk.
Okay.
If anybody's,
was you guys expecting that ending?
I was asleep. I was asleep.
The ending, I knew we was gonna get Reigns at some point.
You didn't know where though.
I didn't know where until I heard the crowd for like 3 minutes before he jerked Seth out the cage. I liked it though. It was intense. To see Roman do a curb stomp.
That was different.
It was different. It was different. You got the spear, you got the curb stomp, you got
the Superman punch.
Yeah, so it was different. And
it's
then
just out of his
he went to stop him again on the steps, and he noted, security comes out, breaks it all up, and he notices in the ring that up there holding CM Punk, consoling him, is
the wise man, Paul Heyman.
And you can see the anger on his face. So I can see this building to that favor.
Okay. Do you, young man, see Paul Heyman going with CM Punk, or does he stay with his tribal chief?
Going to Punk. I feel like, all right, I'll throw this out there.
Okay.
So there's going to be that triple threat of Mania, right?
Okay.
Punk will win because of the wise man. I feel like some point Rollins will get taken out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll be Punk and Roman in the ring, and something will happen with Paul Heyman, and he might even like hit Roman with a chair or something, low blow him or something to give Punk that upper hand to hit a GTS or something and win that triple threat Mania. And then they're back to when they were.
I'm going to give you your props because that might have been the smartest wrestling thing you've ever said in your entire life. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. But logically speaking, what you just said made sense, and I'm very surprised. What do you think, Dad? You think Punk's going to end up with Heyman, or you think Heyman will stay with
I'm not
Reigns?
For sure on that. I can see Heyman
going either way.
I feel like
doing whatever's best for Heyman.
Okay.
I just feel like the way that he was holding Punk before Roman came in there and speared him.
That's the way a friend holds a friend when a friend's in
exactly.
pain.
Exactly.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't see Heyman joining Punk because Dad's right. I see Punk going with Rock and Cena. There's just no point for them to have a wise man.
Well, you never know.
I mean, The Rock doesn't need a wise man. He's a final boss.
Maybe a consigliere.
Sure. I mean, maybe. But overall, what'd you guys think of Raw? 10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
From what I did see until I fell asleep at the end, from what I say.
Time out. Before you answer this question, if you'd like to be back on here next week, you have to stay awake.
Man.
The minimum requirement for doing this show is to watch the other show. Okay? So if you want to be on this show, you got to watch the show we're reviewing. So what did you think of what you did watch?
You fell asleep on here twice.
I didn't. I've been awake this whole time.
What did you think about Monday Night Raw?
It was, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7.5.
Okay. What about you, Pops?
I'd say it's a solid 7 or 8, somewhere in between 7 and 8, something like that. I agree about what he said.
I'm probably just biased, but I'm gonna go like 8.5, 9.
I think
I really enjoyed the main event.
the main event was good.
It got
the
me.
main event was great.
The only thing I'll say that I think they could do a better job about is the build for Gunther versus Jey Uso. It's the same thing every week. It's the only. It's not bad, but it could be a lot better.
Yeah, it could
I've heard
be
a lot
better.
of people say with this Jey versus Gunther, they're turning a 4-week build into a 3-month build.
I just think
So, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, something that could last 3-4 weeks to build to a normal pay-per-view, they're stretching it out 3 months.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over.
Well, you got to keep that in mind, that they have more time.
Yes.
And that was one of the first matches they announced.
Yes. I mean, the first match.
So it's got the longest build. Maybe it's going to pick up as we go.
I just think the only thing that gets me is a lot of a build to like Mania is talking.
Well, I just know that the other title, the other match, is got Cena in it. It's just hard to compete with that. So,
well, I mean, yes,
you can't.
Well, that's what I was going with. Like all your talkers, or your big promo guys,
Right.
or another.
Gunther and Jey aren't.
They're not. They're not promo guys.
I mean, they're decent, but they're not. They're not Punk. They're not Rollins. They're not The Rock. They're not Cena. They're not Roman. You know what I mean? They're just not.
Does it feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania now?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
That's why I put this as high as I feel like this was the first Raw that I'm like, okay, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Definitely.
Gears, we kicked into gear. We're on the road. Let's see what happens. Up next, we had tonight NXT from the theater at Madison Square Garden.
I was a little upset over that because they advertised it. I know it's in the same building.
Okay, this fine print
I know.
said theater.
I know.
That fine print will get
I just thought the NXT could have probably sold out the Garden too.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I think they could have.
I mean, at least would have been a packed house.
Yeah.
Huh?
Didn't they say sold out?
Well, no, it was in the theater of the
theater
Garden.
was packed, sold out. Yes.
It was, and that's where they did like old
Hall
Hall
of
of
Fame
Fame ceremonies for WrestleMania. I think 10.
The one thing before we get started talking about all the matches and all the moments and things of this show, it was really good. I guess, and this could be on my bad for not paying attention as much to NXT as I should, kind of like Nate on Raw. But I was under the impression that all the title matches were champion versus champion. So going into this and as we're watching it, each title's like, okay, this one's just for the TNA and this one's just for the NXT. Kind of let me down. I was thinking.
Well, the women's match was title
for title, which I get because
I thought it was a great show.
Yes, and to start off with the Hardy Boys making their return to WWE against Fraziom, and NXT's hottest tag team was great. Hardys were, I said this, a lot better than anything they did in AEW.
I noticed right at the beginning of the match there was a TNA NXT dueling like chants. I thought that was really cool.
But before they locked up, there was even "This Is Awesome" chants.
Right,
It's rare.
But I'm just saying they had the TNA NXT. The dueling chants. I like that. I thought that was great. It was a great high flying, high risk matchup. Like a lot of high risk maneuvers or whatever you want to call it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I like, Hardy's at the beginning really did a good job of cutting off the ring, showing their tag team expertise. Fraziom was hitting their dives and flips out of nowhere. Matt Hardy catching the suicide dive with the side effect on the outside
Was awesome.
It was awesome.
I've noticed too, like the Hardys as they've gotten older, you'll see times where they miss, like they're behind a step, but you can't tell.
I think they do it on purpose.
Right.
They've almost presented it as, hey, we do this on purpose.
Right. I like it.
Well, it makes something like about modern wrestling that always gets me is sometimes it looks too
right.
choreographed.
And the
And the
Hardys,
Hardys do that style, but they do it clunky
uh-huh.
to where it looks real.
And like if I had to give this match a rating, I would have said this one was like an 8 out of 10 too. Like this was a great match to open the show. I just really enjoyed it.
Hardy taking a Spanish fly was crazy.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting that. What move did you really like? There was one move that you really was like, this is it. I like that.
It was, well, you guys later informed me it was called the plot twist.
Mm-hmm.
It was that twist of fate into the neck breaker.
Okay.
Which I liked it. It was really innovative.
Okay. Something that looked really nasty when it happened, pun intended. It looked like Axiom was about to hit Jeff Hardy with the double stomp. Hardy reverses it, puts Frazier into it, and the way that the stomp connected was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was pretty gruesome.
I was expecting a Hardy Boys win. I was expecting the Hardy Boys to walk out with the NXT Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the match overall?
I'd probably give it the same rating as Dad.
Okay.
It was nice match, back and forth, the flips, all the moves.
It seems like it'd be your kind of match.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
Okay.
Nice tag team match.
Up next, we had a backstage segment with Jada Parker and
Mickie
James. Parker is mentioning how she's next in line for that NXT Women's title. It's her time, and James is letting her know, hey, you got to go take what's yours.
Take what you want.
She said you deserve to be at the top.
Okay. Do you guys see Jada Parker becoming the next NXT Women's champion?
I don't know anything about Jada Parker.
That's fair. That's a fine assessment.
I don't know anything about Jada Parker.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't watch a whole lot of NXT. I'm going to start though because after watching this show tonight, I was really impressed. I kind of got out of it whenever they went to like NXT 2.0.
Yes.
I at that point slowed way down watching it and then completely just kind of fell off of it. So I'm going to get back. I have seen a couple things that Jada Parker's done. She's very talented. I don't know enough to really.
Fair enough. I can say with what I know and just who won the main event, I don't see her being the next NXT Women's Champion. But up next we had Tony D'Angelo and the family had a little segment just saying, hey, next week they're going to have a tag team match. Tony D'Angelo was kind of mad that he wasn't put in the match. But he was like, you know what, I'll respect whatever you got going on, and I'll be there at ringside. I'm gonna move past that because none of us have enough analysis to really go deep into that. But Roxanne Perez takes on Jordynne Grace.
Now this is going to be your next NXT Women's Champion.
Jordynne Grace?
Yeah, I can see her going straight for the women's title.
Okay. Do you see Roxanne Perez going to the main roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I just really Perez is in.
I can see Jordynne Grace going to the main roster.
So a lot of people were surprised she didn't go straight up to the main roster.
I mean, she's been in 2 Rumbles.
I think the main thing is the WWE style.
Right.
Style.
Well, that's why I can see her having a run with the NXT Women's Championship first, or the NXT North American Women's Championship.
But Perez's ring psychology to work that knee, break Jordynne Grace down was excellent. A lot of women, or in general in wrestling, don't take that time to work a limb like she did. It was nice to see that. Jordynne Grace's power definitely overpowered Roxanne in the end.
I loved how Roxanne worked the leg, the whole match. I thought that was amazing. It's kind of like old school wrestling. Yes. Some old school wrestling.
How did Grace win the match, Nate?
I don't know.
Beast mode.
Fell asleep. Beast mode though.
Okay. Up next, we had a backstage segment with Oba Femi and The Undertaker, where Taker, pretty much stops at Femi and is like, "Hey man, I've been watching you, and this is an important night. Go out there and do your thing. Show them what you're made of." Up next, we had a recap of Eddie Thorpe and Trick Williams. And it's pretty much the same next week. Thorpe versus Williams, underground match. Underground match.
I want to see that.
Okay.
I'm excited to see that.
I see. I don't know. I really can't predict this one because it's Thorpe's style of match, but Trick is hot. Like
What that Trick?
it's kind of like he's their Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Trick is NXT's. Whoop that Trick is NXT's Yeet. So I can't call that one. Up next though we have TNA's Moose X Division champion take on NXT champion Oba Femi.
I think this was a big deal. Just the two champions from two different companies. Moose being a big star for TNA and a big man. You know, he's been trying to get to WWE, I think, for a while.
Yeah, I mean they kind of alluded to that.
Yeah.
I think it was Graves who said he's been doing this for 5 years. Like he's been trying to get to this level for 5 years.
Yeah, so it's nice to have him there and see him perform. And it was a very hard-hitting, fast-paced matchup.
Two big men slapping meat.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oba with that uppercut catching Moose out of thin air was actually crazy. Go ahead.
I liked when Oba threw Moose over the top rope, kind of onto the floor. It looked like he hit the floor pretty hard.
Yep.
That was nice.
And then Moose put Oba through the
with the Uranagi.
Yep. And then immediately hits a spear. So Moose puts Oba through the announce table, hits a spear. I thought it could have been over.
That's
for
what
a second. I was like, we get a new NXT champion. And then out of nowhere, I mean, Oba kicks out and gets up and hits the fall from grace and wins just like that. But I definitely hope we see more of Moose in NXT and WWE.
I think we will.
Overall, what do you guys think of this NXT title?
Like we were saying earlier about how WWE might have released some talent just for this reason. So that could be why we end up seeing like a Moose.
Yeah.
And like we see Jordan Grace now. You know, we could see some other talents come
over. It gives them room to
move their talent around and then bring down some of these WWE guys, and that'll also help them build up their shows.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? So, like, and their TV presence. Like, people will tune in if they know Gallows and Anderson are wrestling on there, or if they know Carmella, even for instance. You know what I mean? If they could put her on TNA or something like that. Like, that's why.
You really gonna pick your
my tooth hurts.
Throat on
my tooth hurts.
Oh my God.
My tooth hurts.
Oh my God.
Bro, sleep.
I did not fall asleep.
He's a hot mess, bro.
You cannot pick your throat on live stream. I did not have to say that.
It was. I touched my tooth for 2 seconds.
Bro, you've done canceled the whole soda. Fucking
I was thirsty.
Come on, man. Get it together, G.
What do you think of this NXT title match, Nate?
It was good.
It was good. What do you rate it? 10 out of 10.
8.
What do you think, Dan? How'd you rate this?
It was a 6. Something like that. 5, 6.
I will. I'll
It
put
was
around
good. It was
6,
a good
7
match. It
range.
was a good match.
I think it was what we expected.
Yeah, it was what I expected.
Up next, we get formerly Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints. Had a little backstage segment where he's kind of alluding to Rich Holland, telling him he don't belong here. He wants a match with Rich Holland so he can prove it. Ethan Page kind of tells Ricky, hey, you're an outsider.
And that's kind of funny, you know, seeing how Ethan Page just come from AEW too. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I'd be excited.
I thought it was a nice little shot at, you know, reference. They're working with so many companies and they really, you know, they try to stay away, I guess, from saying AEW.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't hear them say that. So for them to give that little underhanded comment.
They do it a couple times, especially in the NXT is like the one place they really get away with it because you have like Lexis King there, Ethan Page,
right.
Sean Spears, and like I remember Cody went down there to do something, and like he was backstage with all these NXT guys, and it was kind of like, hey guys, we all know each other from somewhere, like so they allude to it, but that's probably the only place they really they never mention AEW
Right,
like
right.
they do. I mean,
Everywhere else,
TNA
or
New Japan or AAA.
yeah.
And they mention all these places, but they don't.
No
mention,
MLW, no AEW.
yeah. Which
even right now we got Natty Neidhart working with the NWA. That's kind of crazy. I'm excited about that. I just think there's a lot of openings for a lot to happen in wrestling right now.
So, okay, seeing how we're on this topic of AEW being brought up, do you think that can change with things like Billy Gunn being in the 2K game?
I don't know.
He's in the 2K?
I just don't.
DLC.
I'm sure that.
It's just surprising. That one came out of left field, I think.
Yeah, Billy probably told Tony, "Hey, look, I make a lot of money off these games."
Well, and WWE action figures, AEW action figures all at the same time.
Right.
And now he's in.
Maybe he's got a Legends deal or something on top of his AEW.
I mean, I guess being best friends with Triple H has its advantages, but it's kind of with how Tony and Triple H and them are taking their jabs at each other. It's surprising.
Yeah.
I
think everybody should just get along and love wrestling.
Love wrestling. Up next, I mean, we had Ethan Page versus Javon Evans in what kind of street fight, Nate?
A New York City style street fight.
Okay. What did you like about this match?
I liked the arm drag into the chairs. I feel like that was really nice.
Off the top rope.
Off the top rope.
Well, no, he grabbed him by the arms and pulled him over.
Okay.
Also, near the end, well, first he hit the one cutter on top of the chair, and then he put his head into the chair and cuttered him also. That was really nice. And then he flies over and like dives on top of Javon, and then they fly over the announce table.
Okay.
That was really nice. The way that they got a new announce table that fast was a little insane.
Okay.
I feel like.
It was a great match. I enjoyed it. A lot of high flying, high risk stuff. Like you said, the flip into the announce table was kind of crazy. He cleared Ethan all the way.
Yeah, over the announce table.
And then Ethan kind of dove backwards. That was kind of cool. And then the cutter at the end with the chair around. I just thought that was sick.
Brutal.
I do want to point out, with that said,
this right here though would be my pick for like match of the night.
Okay.
I think this stole the show.
It was either that or the
great match. I was surprised though that Ethan Page lost. I was.
The only reason I'll disagree is because this is the one of like a couple storylines I've paid attention to, and Ethan's had the upper hand the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So it was. It
was
the comeback.
I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. Even like I seen previews for like a strap match. I'm gonna go and check that out. Probably this evening.
You mentioned the chair shot was nice.
Right.
The reason, if we would have watched that somewhere else, my opinion of it would have probably been different. But how WWE handled it and how they sold it and how they didn't kill each other to do said spot made it okay. But let's say we would have saw that on AEW. The way that they're going to sell that and the way they're going to do it, somebody's probably going to get hurt.
I don't know. I thought it was good. I don't know about the.
Okay.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I just don't want to.
I mean, part of this is we're allowed to be critical of.
Yeah, I know, and there's a lot of.
There's
a lot of unnecessary stuff on AEW.
Well,
that's why I don't watch it very often.
Well, that's what the point I was trying to make is WWE is putting on styles of matches to where we get, those violent things happening without people getting hurt.
Yeah, there's a lot less of the.
It was a protected but gruesome moment, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Before we get to the main event, Eddie Thorpe is doing well. Okay, sorry. Javon Evans is celebrating at the end and gets attacked by Shield lookalikes.
Yeah. I didn't know what to make of this.
Okay.
I really didn't care for it.
Okay.
I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't care for it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Shawn Michaels is going to hit a home run with the Team Moose Shield.
do you think about Timu Shield?
I like their new kind of like rip off of the Shield's triple power bomb. How they kind of like
They
throw
throw
him.
him?
They
That-
throw him
okay, that
instead,
was
and
nice.
then that's like nice. That's really
It
nice.
is a ripoff though.
But it's probably
It's definitely a copy and paste.
unpopular opinion. I feel like it's probably better than the Shield triple power bomb, where they just throw them and then they
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. They definitely do the power bomb part better. But,
better. All right.
Okay. Up next, Eddie Thorpe did a little interview where he's talking about his match next week, underground match with Trick Williams. Trick Williams comes out from the crowd, beats him up, gets him out of there. I think it was just a spot, just to build next week's matchup. But it's time for the main event. Stephanie McCurr, the NXT North American champion, takes on NXT Women's Champion Julia. Champion versus champion, both titles on the line. What do you guys think of this?
It was a good women's match. Fast pace. Really fast pace. I don't know. I just really went into it.
Okay.
I just really wasn't. Yeah, I don't know either competitor very well. Like I said, I'm going to start checking out NXT a little more and seeing if I can't get some more of the backstories. I thought it was kind of cool them unifying the titles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they're going to get rid of the North American Women's title or if they're going to keep both of them. That's my kind of question right there. So I'm just kind of curious about that.
Like he was kind of saying, it was really fast paced.
Yeah, I'm gonna just cut you off before
Okay.
you make yourself look silly on camera.
Okay.
Okay.
We understand you didn't pay attention to it. We love you. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think the right woman won.
Yeah.
I think Vakur is.
And it was nice to see the title kind of change hands. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think not Valkyrie,
Julia.
Julia might be going up.
I can see her going to the main
I
roster.
can see her going to the main roster.
Vakur, I think.
Wasn't Julia in the Rumble? No.
Yes, they both were.
Yeah, she was, right?
They both were in the Rumble.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I can see her going up.
But I know Vakur recently said that she had the option to go to NXT or go to the main roster. She chose to go to NXT. I think she'll be on NXT for a while. Probably her choice, just to learn the style. It's different than what she's
Used to.
And I think she's going to be the girl or woman to lead this division into whatever's next.
Yeah, if Jordan Grace does it.
Yeah. But guys, thank you guys for joining us. Check us out on all social medias.
All praise God.
All praise God. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Follow us for all our new episodes. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That might be changing up soon. Things are shifting a little bit. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Oh, nice, bro.
Get it tough.